Going in depth now, we want to talk about what rights those detained have and what attorneys in the Denver Metro are seeing in terms of their caseloads.
Denver 7's Wanya Reese is joining us now. And Wanya, you've been hearing from an attorney who says that his phone has now been ringing nonstop.
Good Friday morning to you, Nicole and Anusha. I got a chance to speak with an immigration attorney. His name is Jorge. And he tells me that over the past 10 days, his phone has literally just been ringing off of the hook since the Trump administration has gotten into the White House, with a lot of people who are undocumented calling afraid, asking, hey, am I going to be deported? So I took your question straight to him to get you some answers. And here's a bit of our conversation.
People are pretty panicked, and there's a lot of calls with people with misinformation.
With the new administration officially in office, Jorge Castañeda says business has picked up.
People are just kind of running around and just trying to figure out what's happening, why is it happening, where is it happening, am I going to get deported?
In January, we saw a number of DEA raids take place across the Denver Metro. But what legal rights do those undocumented have who have not committed a crime? Castañeda says under the previous administration, there were legal ways to stay, but now that's no longer the case exactly.
They're trying to do expedited removals on a national level.
When it comes down to those undocumented that have committed crimes, Castañeda says it will be an uphill battle for them to gain freedom, let alone citizenship.
A criminal conviction can also disqualify you from immigration relief. And immigration relief just means a way of maybe fighting a deportation or trying to stay in this country legally. So the effects of criminal convictions or criminal charges vary.
Castañeda says he's seen a big increase in those from Venezuela calling for help, with other people from Mexico, Colombia, and other places in Latin America calling for help as well. He says those undocumented are looking for direction because the Custom and Border Patrol app, also known as CB1, no longer allows those undocumented to submit information.
They're being stuck wherever, either in their country, which they're fleeing persecution from, or many of them are being stuck in Mexico, where a lot of them there was kind of the staging area for people to come into the country.
Despite a new administration, Castañeda shared the immigration system in America is in need of a repair.
It's been a system that has not worked for a long time. And something has to change because the fact that someone waits 5-6 years for a hearing, things like that, it's not a conducive to an efficient system for immigration.
So, Wanya, we know that Colorado has a low rate for the ratio of lawyers available for these kinds of cases. So ultimately, what does that mean for those who are waiting to go to court? What does that process look like?
So, Anusha, essentially what's going to be happening is that those people who are waiting are going to have to continue to wait. And as we see more of these raids happen, that caseload for the court system here in the state of Colorado is just going to continue to grow. Also, we're going to see people who are undocumented trying to apply for citizenship as well. And the attorney that I spoke with was just saying that the current immigration system just does not have the capacity to handle everything that is being thrown at it right now. So the way that we're going to be able to see things truly move forward in the way that President Donald Trump would like things to move forward, and also those who are trying to obtain citizenship to move forward, is by legislation being passed in Washington, D.C., and President Trump signing it into law. Only time will tell, but we do know that that is on President Trump's agenda to get some type of meaningful legislation pertaining to immigration signed into law.
All right, thank you so much for that perspective, Wanya.